Hello, friends, and you too, Carl. And welcome to a stream of consciousness review of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the Hedgening, or the Hoggening. I don't know. I don't even remember if it had a subtitle. I'm sure it didn't. So I'm doing this without a green screen. You guys remember my bookshelf, right? This used to be my backdrop for all my old videos. I just thought, you know what? Let's get back to basics. Let's go a little retro. And I know half of you are out there going, what the heck is he talking about? This is retro as far as I'm concerned. Those are my books and my treasures, and yeah, it's a little dusty. It's cat treats. You should see them. They are really they're climbing their cat tree over there because of this. But we're not here to talk about my cats, even though that's probably a more interesting subject. We're here to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which is the third part of a trilogy, soon to be a quadrilogy, of video game movies based on, wait for it, Sonic the Hedgehog. In this movie, the blue blur Sonic, Knuckles and Tails take on the dark hedgehog Shadow the Hedgehog, voiced by one Keanu Reeves. You may have heard of this fellow before. Don't hurt his dog, that's all I can say. Through shenanigans and stuff, Dr. Eggman or Robotnik, I can't remember. I think he's called Robotnik in this movie. In the TV show, he's called Eggman or something. But Eggman is forced to join forces with them, and then he betrays them because his granddad is helping Shadow. And then there's this whole thing about how they want to destroy the world, because of course they do, and it's all a thing. But let me tell you where this movie shines and where I think it could have shined more. First of all, Keanu Reeves did a fantastic job voicing Shadow the Hedgehog. Gave him a seriousness that we haven't seen from Knuckles or Sonic or Tails, and it was kind of refreshing to see a character who didn't quip, didn't make jokes. He's just there to do a job, to do what he thinks needs to be done. Jim Carrey is, of course, on fire, as always, playing double duty, a double role. There was one really meta wink at the camera moment where they make a joke about, it's like we're two different characters being played by the same actor, which was super cringy, and I wish they'd cut that from the movie because it literally took me out of the film for several minutes. I was just like, oh God, no. It's like if somebody cuts one right in front of you and it makes your eyes water. That's what I was from that joke. Oh no. But here's where this movie excels. And it is that Sonic 3 is a nature versus nurture story. It is basically an examination of what could have happened to Sonic if Sonic had not had the support of friends and family like he did. And Shadow is that antithesis. This is what Sonic could have been. And at the same time, we have this parallel story where Robotnik is kind of put in that same situation. This is who I am, but what if I would have had family supporting me? Which is kind of clever. And it's sad that this being the strongest thing about this movie, it's also simultaneously the weakest thing, because they were almost there as far as making this super memorable and super poignant. They were almost there, but you can never really say that these movies try very hard. I don't know. I kind of feel like the fact that these three Sonic movies have been good has been more of a run of good luck than it has anything else, because it seems like they do the bare minimum, and they do the bare minimum with this theme as well. It's just a couple of times Sonic says, wow, I can't think of what I would be if I didn't have James Marsden and this other woman and these two Pokemon here taking care of me all the time. I wish they'd have done more with it. I wish they'd been more subtle with it. But to be perfectly honest, it seems like the movie's runtime did not grant them the time to do that. And I think that is a real shame, because I really think that with a little bit more care, this movie could have been something special. They could have really said something with it. Now, the action in this movie is really great. There are 4 major action pieces, and they are just very entertaining. As I said, Jim Carrey's great. Ben Schwartzman is great. Idris Elba is great. Whoever did the voice of Tails is great. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. This is a very well-performed movie with very competently staged action sequences and stakes that are established. It's very easy to understand. I just wish they would have put more effort into the theme of nature versus nurture. That's my biggest thing. I wish they would have tried harder and they would have taken a good movie to really great territory. Let me put it to you this way. They have this idea, okay, it's not a secret, it's in the trailer. Shadow is friends with this little girl. And through chicanery and misfortune, there is an accident and the little girl dies. She's dead ski. And that is what makes Shadow go dark. That is the point of divergence between him and Sonic, is that Shadow goes this way. He's lonely, he's vengeful, he's hateful. Sonic goes this way. He's got friends, he's got family, he loves chili dogs. They have this line, we're talking about this little girl, where him and the little girl, before she dies, of course, because if it happened after she dies, it'd be a zombie movie. But they're laying out in the field, they're looking at stars, and the little girl says, hey, you know, my grandfather told me that light takes hundreds of years to reach us from the stars, and even though the star may not be there anymore, we're still seeing the light. Isn't that cool? And then later in the film, Shadow, after basically having an epiphany that what he's doing is wrong, looks up at the stars and says, the star is gone, but the light still shines. And I thought, wow, that's deep. I like that. Why couldn't the rest of this movie have been that deep? You know, it does not hurt. It does not hurt one bit to try a little harder, is what I'm trying to say. And I wish Sonic 3 had tried a little harder. So between Sonic 1, 2, and 3, I think 3 falls between part 1 and part 2. I think 2 was probably a little better than 1. But it's definitely got some stuff in there that I think the Sonic nerds will like. I know I liked it, and I'm not really that big into Sonic. I enjoy the games, but I don't know that much about the lore. I enjoyed this movie. I think you'll enjoy this movie, but I can't shake the feeling that you kind of miss the movie that it could have been. Okay, so that's my stream of consciousness review of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Take a look at the video description below. You're going to find information about how to become a patron on this channel. And of course, we have these videos right here. They are good. You will enjoy them. I'm particularly proud of these videos. Please watch them. They are great. Love you. Sonic loves you. Knuckles loves you. Tails loves you. Shadow, I don't know yet. We'll see. Happy Honda Days, everyone.